Good evening, everybody. I would like to call the Fraser City Council for Thursday, August 11th at 2022 at 6:32 p.m. Could you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. At this time, Cindy, could you please call attendance?
Councilmember Bransky.
Present.
Councilmember Blanky.
Present.
Mayor Carnegie.
Here.
Councilmember Kolka.
Here.
Councilmember O'Dowd.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Shernick.
Here.
And Councilmember Sutherland.
Present.
At this time, I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda, but I see there's a light on to make any possible amendments. Councilwoman Baranski.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda to include item 7I, Director of Public Safety hiring.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any comments and questions on that motion? Any comments, questions from council? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Second.
That one- oh,
Oh,
What?
One more addition,
oh,
to new business to add recreation liaison.
7G. I'll make that motion, Mr. Mayor. J, sorry.
7J.
right, yep. Okay. Any comments and questions on that motion? Do we have a second?
Oh, second.
Yeah, yeah.
Second, okay.
We have a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Any others? I see none.
Now, Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any comments and questions on the motion? I see none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, at this time, I will call on citizen participation on an agenda item only. If you cannot be here for the entirety of the meeting and would like to discuss an agenda item only at this time, you have 5 minutes and we can do that. Is there anyone who would like to be heard? None in the audience? Any online? No? Okay. We'll bring it back. Consent agenda. I went through the consent agenda myself. I did not see anything that was out of place, so I will go ahead and make the motion to approve the consent agenda as submitted.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any comments and questions on that motion? I see none. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 7, new business. Today we're going to start off the meeting with a good thing. We have a certificate of appreciation for Councilman David Winowicki. Sorry, David, you'll always be known as Councilman David Winowicki now. It's something that you carry on. So whereas David Winowicki is a resident of the City of Fraser and member of the City of Fraser Council since 2017, is hereby recognized for his commitment to excellence, the City of Fraser, and regional community. And whereas during such time, David Winowicki served as a leader, an ambassador, and liaison for the community and all who put their trust in him to serve the City of Fraser. While doing so, ensuring the integrity, demeanor, dignity, and professionalism of city leaders for a community striving for the same within its governance through a long-term team strategic and financial planning during challenging times within the community. And whereas David's approachable, personable spirit to the life of volunteerism, public service has provided avid support to countless efforts and causes, including the Fraser First Booster Club and the development of building of McKinley Barrier-Free Park and Playground, liaison for the Recreation Commission, and former president of the Fraser Athletic Boosters. And whereas David's knowledge and experience in infrastructure, construction materials, property management, and processes for repairs and improvements was an invaluable asset to the city. Providing his experience, he made recommendations to council and administration that ensured residents and business owners receive the best materials and fiscal value return in services. As an integral member of the council, he contributed to efforts in obtaining LED lighting, multiple park upgrades, and HVAC system infrastructure efforts, and help with the road repairs. Now therefore let it be resolved, I, Michael C. Carnegie, by the virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor for the city of Fraser, and on behalf of the entire city council and all of our citizens, we do extend the certificate of appreciation to David Winowicki for his distinguished service to the community. Given under my hand this 11th day of August, 2022.
Thank you, David.
Now you're officially retired.
Sure, absolutely. You like to say something?
I would just, congratulations, of course, Dave, but I would like to acknowledge that we have we have Mrs. Winowicki here, of course. Hi, Debbie. And we also have Mrs. Henderson with us this evening. And Mrs. Henderson is the mother of Debbie. And she and I worked together in a previous lifetime. She was hardworking with the school district. She worked with Mr. Rapicki, Leo Bryan, all the people that watch the community grow and many years ago. So thanks for coming. You look great. Good to see you.
Yeah, they did. They did.
We did.
Okay, item B, patrol car purchase. Director Gillis.
I know I got to get nice and close here for the audience at home. Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm here tonight to request the purchase of 2 patrol cars. I received a quote from My Deal, which is the proprietary sole source deal for the Ford Explorers through the state of Michigan. We were able to get a quote of $32,979 per vehicle. I've been working with Mr. Agnew from the Gorno Ford. They're the dealership through that MI Deal is using. And they told me that the quote is still good for the original price they gave me, and also it could possibly be as late as October before we would take delivery of these vehicles. So I'm requesting council approve the purchase of these 2 vehicles for the total price of $65,958. I believe it was already budgeted in the capital outlay for the public safety department. Those vehicles also need to be outfitted. Our current vehicles that they'll be replacing are 2016 models. Based on what I've seen of the industry, I'm assuming most of the outfitting for the patrol cars, the lights, the cages, everything will need to be replaced because of the age of the vehicles and difference in the engineering, and they always want to sell you new stuff anytime you buy a new car.
Okay, Councilwoman Shornack.
I would like to make the motion to approve the 2 patrol cars for purchase because they are part of the budget, correct? Right. Okay. And I know I didn't catch the whole number off the top of my head, so it was $65,000.
958.
$958. Okay.
Second.
We have a motion second. Councilwoman Baranski.
Yeah, I just want to ask a point of clarification, obviously in support of it. Is this in addition to the ones we purchased but never purchased, or is this like in follow-up to that? Because I thought did we already purchase 2 within the last year?
The 2 that were approved for last year were not purchased, so this will be just 2 new vehicles.
Okay, so that's what I thought, and so therefore there's room.
And we
I'm
probably
fully-
could use the 4, but we'll wait
Well, that's my
till we get
point, like, work with our new director to.
Right.
Because we approved of them already, and unfortunately, I knew it fell apart because we couldn't get them we couldn't purchase them outright from where we thought. Is that what it was?
Yes, and this is the direction I was instructed to go down, was purchasing through them ideal.
Perfect.
Be the best bet, or the best price, excuse me.
Excellent, thank you.
And Director, is the color scheme still the same, black and whites? Are they?
The vehicles that we got a quote for is their, how they word it, carbonized gray. That's what most of our newer vehicles are. We've moved away from the black and white color
Okay.
scheme. But it will be replacing 2 black and white patrol cars.
So we have a motion and a second on the floor. Any comments and questions on that motion? Comments, questions from the audience? I see none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you for your support.
Thank
Thank you.
Item C, sanitary sewer rehabilitation contract award. Ms. Levin.
The agenda item that you have before you is a continuation of a program that we already have existing, which is the sanitary sewer program. Through this process, we clean and televise and put in a liner in the sewer system. And what we are looking for is to approve really this year's program. $500,000 was budgeted for the program, which included an estimated $25,000 in contract administration fees. We are looking for a motion to approve the program through Granite Inliner, which was part of a piggybacking bid system off of Allen Park that we authorized last year. So, as I mentioned, this is a continuation of it. I believe we will require a motion to waive bids, waive competitive bidding.
She's looking at me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think as part of the motion, it would be to waive competitive bidding and award this contract if the council is inclined to make that motion.
Mayor Pro Tem Shornack.
I just want a little clarity. So this, I know it's part of the program that we already started. I got that part. So is the majority of it, that grant that we received, is being paid for through that grant for the majority of it, correct?
I believe so. I know Mike Vigneron is on Zoom. He might be able to give you a definitive answer on that question. Mike?
Good evening. This was not part of the grant program. This is just regular sewer maintenance funds that are going to be paying for this work. It was something that we had budgeted for the next 3 years to make repairs to the sewer, the defects that were identified over the last 4 years of the sewer cleaning and televising program. So we were anticipating about $500,000 a year for the next 3 years in repairs would be needed. This would take care of the most critical repairs. And again, we are looking to utilize the contracted prices that were competitively bid as part of the Allen Park project for this contract.
Okay, but then it was budgeted.
It was budgeted.
Okay. That's why I wanted clarification, because I wasn't sure if it was money from a grant or it was, okay, thank you.
So the only question I have, maybe Mike can help, is when these repairs take place, how and where and who decides and how much the project's going to be? Does that just go through DPW and we just get the bills and sign off on them later on? Or how does council know that this is a valuable exercise that we're paying for, that the work's getting done?
Well, I guess it's similar to work that we've done in the past for sewer rehabilitation. It's a trenchless method. So we've identified areas that are cracked or deteriorated and require rehabilitation. The contractor does another pre-televising before they do any of the lining work, which is like a resin impregnated liner. It essentially replaces the pipe that it's acting as the host. When they're done, they come back and re-televise the entire line to confirm that that the project has been done. And our staff is just doing contract administration and very limited inspection is what we discussed with Mr. Ragsdale. So afterwards, we would verify that the work has been done in accordance with the contract requirements and recommend payment to the city at that point.
So about the inspection part, you're limited inspection, or we just go with what they say that it's been fixed and it meets all the requirements, or?
That's what the post video is for. So
Okay.
while we're probably not going to be present on site 100% of the time while work is ongoing, we are going to be doing spot checks, and then the verification of the video afterwards is part of the process to confirm the work was done.
Okay.
Actually, I have one more question. What is the warranty on is this like the pipe bursting kind of thing?
Not quite a pipe bursting, but similar. It's basically drag a sock, for lack of a better term, through,
Right.
through the
Okay.
pipe, and then there's a 2-year maintenance and guarantee bond, which is pretty typical for our contracts. That's included in the scope of the contract.
Okay.
Effectively, the pipe is designed as a brand new pipe, as if there was no pipe there to begin with. So in terms of structural loading and things like that, it's as good as a brand new pipe, and it's actually got improved hydraulic characteristics.
Okay.
I don't have any other questions, Council.
I guess I will make the motion to move. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I was just going to make the motion, but go
Oh,
right
go ahead. Seriously, I'll just second you, Patrick. Go right ahead.
All right. All right, I'll make the motion to approve the sanitary sewer rehabilitation contract award as submitted for $496,053.50.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions on that motion? I see none. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item D, Sarisa Contract Extension Agreement.
So you have a copy of the full contract and the contract extension agreement before you. This is a one-year extension of the existing contract in the amount of $407,860. We actually budgeted $410,000 for the Sarisa contract for dispatch this year. So it is within budget, and just looking for an approval of the contract extension agreement at this time.
Councilman Sutherland.
I don't have any questions, so I'll make the motion to approve the Sarisa contract extension agreement as adjusted.
Support. We have a motion and support. Any other comments or questions on motion? Any council? See none? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Stefan Park Building Renovations.
So you have before you the agenda item for some improvements at Stefan's Park building for building renovations. When we worked on the budget this year, we budgeted $75,000 for Stefan's Park improvements. The DPW superintendent, Mark Ragsdale, did look at the buildings and had a bit of an assessment and review of some of the necessary improvements that were needed, including the concession building, restroom building, service garage, and electrical building. Through the My Deal bidder Allied Construction, he recommends approval of the contract with them, I believe it's not to exceed $72,865. And I do know that he is on Zoom if anybody has any particular questions regarding this agenda item.
Mayor Pro Tem Shornack.
I actually didn't have any questions. I know that a lot of those buildings are in disrepair and dilapidated, so I'm prepared to make the motion for the improvements at Stefan Park for the building renovations to not exceed $72,865.
Second.
Give a motion and second. Councilwoman Blanky.
I had a few questions. Mark's not here tonight?
He's on Zoom.
Okay. In the beginning, and this is a presented request for $72,865. I cannot entertain this at all for several reasons. One would be, Mark, you explained that you didn't do any bidding, and I understand that you went through the company that Michigan uses on a regular basis, Mich Deal. I always have a problem with that we didn't go anywhere else. Secondly, I read and reread this, and I'm sure you're aware of the fact, although there was no mention of it, the concession stand, and you didn't make any suggestion toward it. That can't be touched as far as being torn down or anything. That was put up with a grant many years ago. But within that concession stand, what I see, unless I misread it, was a lot of painting. There seems to be a lot of exterior renovation and fixing, and it isn't that it doesn't need it. I agree with Mayor Pro Tem Shornack 100%. You mentioned early on in your explanation that because residents want recreation, it's a good idea. Well, it was a good idea about 5 or 6 years ago, because everyone up here who's up here that was up there, we all recognize the fact that the parks were in disarray and it needed paint. Now, other than what I read, I didn't see any interior renovation, replacement, or anything like that. Am I reading this wrong, or is that true?
I think I can address that. Looking at the bid for the concession building, I think it's the second page. The scope of work, it is obviously a lot of external stuff, remove and dispose of the rotted fascia, provide and install new fascia, aluminum trim, siding, repair LED lighting, prime and paint the brick and block, and any potential electrical costs. One thing about this bid is that we have to start somewhere. And I think we all recognize that there's a lot of work interior for some of these buildings, in particular the bathrooms. There are a lot of things that are going to need to be done there. I think that Mark has already kind of been looking at some of that stuff, and a lot of that's things that could probably just be replaced and repaired as needed. But as far as like a complete, say, like overhaul of the concession or the restrooms or anything like that, that's a lot more extensive and a lot more expensive. We haven't budgeted for it this year. There obviously are some grants and things that we could start looking into, in particular when we get the Parks and Recreation Master Plan process completed. So that would be something that we'd be looking to hopefully get grants for to help pay for those larger cost items interior.
Well, believe me, some of us know that have been up here for a while know absolutely. I've been there, and same as it was 20-some years ago, so I get that part, But the part I don't get is that you talk about the roofing and the fascia and all that. I understand the roof, and especially on the storage part of this bid needs to be replaced. I get that, and I'm sure it's wood or cardboard or something. I'm not sure, but they're going to use aluminum. So I understand that's an upgrade. Get it, I guess my problem is, and I know we'll hear about short-staffed and all this kind of stuff. I get that. But I just don't, for the life of me, understand that, I think personally a lot of times, this has been this way, we become complacent. I'm not complacent about it. I agree it should be done. But you can't get me to believe that our men and women that work in the DPW cannot paint an outside of a building. And that being said, I'll justify the fact that we're getting toward the end of summer. There will be a portion where there's no grass cutting. There's no leaf pickup yet. There's no snow removal. I'm not trying to be a slave driver here, and I again, it was part of what I did in my career. I get it. I do get it. I guess what I don't get is the amount of money. It just seems like a lot of money to me for what is being asked, and thank you for listening.
I also have a question. The service garage, what do we consider the service garage? Which building is the service garage? So
That would be the building all diamond where we store the tractor, and the baseball diamond equipment.
So connected to the bathrooms.
No, it's standalone.
It would be that barn-looking building.
Across from the
by
concession
gravel
stand.
park.
Across from the concession stand.
Concession stand.
Closer
It's kind of in
to
the
14
corner a little
mile.
bit, like where the third ball diamond
You're
was.
kidding. You want to fix that building?
It stores
Stores
the stuff.
everything.
Oh, my God.
Well, because that's how bad it is. It needs to be done.
That's actually the picture I sent to council when I went, did my own thing over there. That building can't be fixed. It's going to be torn down.
Well, they're going to fix it for this quote.
No, they keep it.
What are they going to do to that building, Mark, specifically to the service garage? That was my concern, is if that was that building that you defined as service garage, what were they going to do to that building?
They're gonna remove all the T111 that's on the outside of the building, as well as the soffit. It's already had a newer roof put on it, as well as the bathrooms have had a fairly new roof put on it as well. So they're gonna remove the exterior wood and the soffit, and replace all that rotted wood, put the new stuff up, and paint. The buildings, all the buildings will be painted the same color, so they'll be uniform. There is some cut points that have to be done to the bathroom areas. In the bathroom areas, all the building is block and brick, but up at the top, you have quite a bit of wood that's rotted. That would be replaced with the wood, and then the wood would then be covered with vinyl siding, so that it would be maintenance free at that point. And again, all the buildings would be painted the same color. As Ms. Levin said, this is not the fix-all, but we got to start somewhere. And we've been sinking all this money into the parks, improving the parks with the new equipment, and unfortunately, our biggest park has been neglected. And that is all we have budgeted for this year. I certainly think that we could do more, as Ms. Blanket said. The interiors are things that need to be done to the interior, and those are things that we can get quotes for, and then go to the city council and budget for those items. But for right now, this is something that, in my opinion, that desperately needs to be done.
Yeah, no, I'm just shocked that they're going to fix that building, to be honest with you. That's all. They can do all that for $70,000, then it's you're getting a pretty good deal. Otherwise, too, the fencing. To me, the fencing is just such a hazard, and it's a mess that just needs to come down. Also, but it's just my opinion. Councilwoman Kolka.
Thank you, Mayor. Mark, to Council Member Blakey's point about this amount of money, is there a particular reason we didn't go and get bids from different companies?
So, I've tried to get bids from different companies, and it's like pulling teeth to get somebody to come out to actually give you a quote. And with Ally, they have the contract through Mike. So the state has already put that out for bid, and they were awarded the contract. So it's no different than the two vehicles that were just awarded to the police department from Gorno 4. The state took the bid out, and Gorno 4 wanted the bid. They had the best pricing on those two particular vehicles, which is 4. It's the same scenario here. The state puts out a bid, And it's a 3 to 5 year contract with them. And Allied has the best prices on remodels. So even if I was to get 2 more bids, they're not going to be as good as the bids from Allied because the state has already put this out for bid. But yes, I will certainly call other people, and it's been very hard to keep telling they're short of staff, or some of them even want to charge you a service call to come out to give you a bid.
Sure. So it's good to get some background information as to how it is that we got here and what your thought process was, obviously, so that council understands as well as the residents understand kind of why, under these circumstances, you didn't think that it would be advantageous to get other bids. So I appreciate your explanation. Thank you.
Councilman Baranski.
The other point I wanted to make too is we have been very diligent, when I say we, the city in general, about upgrading our parks. And I think we've done an excellent job. I'm very happy with the way the last 3 parks have turned out. With that being said, Stefan's Park is our gem, right? It's our biggest park, and that's where our events are held. I would have loved for this stuff to have been done before we had the Lions Festival done. But unfortunately, it just didn't fall in the budget season, budget time.
Okay, Councilwoman Baranski.
Okay, so if I'm reading these bids correctly, there's 4 buildings, and the only thing that's included in these quotes is replacement of rod and wood, putting vinyl siding on where it's appropriate, and then painting. It doesn't include any electrical feeds that need to be done. Each and every contract says additional cost for that. And this is our entire budget for Stefan's for the whole year. Am I reading that quote correctly as a non-construction person?
It does include upgrades to the lights and concession stand.
Okay, right. But in terms of where, like each of the ones says added cost for electrical to remove, support, and reset any other feeds into the building. So it's not going to replace any of the existing external to internal wiring other than as specifically delineated, correct?
Right.
Okay. So, and this is like 70 whatever, and we had 75, right?
Yes, we budgeted 75.
Okay. And then I thought I heard you just say that the bathrooms are entirely bricked other than the top, and so this would be to, in essence, put a durable, long-lasting instead of I know there's other things, there's filling in the things, but it struck me as strange that it was $28,000 to do the bathroom, but only $21,000 to do the building that the mayor wanted torn down. And so I'm kind of perplexed. If the bathroom is 95% brick, and I know that the storage shed isn't, I'm just trying to figure out what am I missing in the quote to make it be, sorry.
Well, the difference is the other building, the other, we'll call it a garage, our storage shed, I don't know if you know what T111 is, but it's like plywood with grooves in it, basically. Okay, so that's what the exterior of that building is. The exterior of the bathrooms, I would say 80% is brick and block, and then you have a lot of detailed work that has to be done with the top portion with vinyl siding, replacing the soffits, because the soffits is all rotted, as well as some of the joists that's coming out for the soffits. So that has to be, those have to be fixed. Then you have some metal work that has to be done, excuse me, on the corners as well. So there's a lot more detailed work and time involved in the areas of the bathroom than it would be we'll call it maintenance shed.
Okay, so it's more labor intensive, is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. And then for the specific quote for the storage facility exterior, are we getting both, the 27,000 and the 21, or is it either or? So it says,
Yes, either or, but the recommendation is that the 21,225.
so if I'm
Adopted.
reading correctly, that would then, we wouldn't be replacing the T111? We'd only be replacing the rotted material as opposed to, like, is the higher, no, I'm sorry, is the higher quote to replace all of the exterior with new T111 or not? Like, I'm trying to not piecemeal. If we're going to do it right.
I'm looking at that right now.
Do it once and be done, don't,
It's working.
yeah, piecework, thank you.
Especially for the $6,000 more.
Yeah, I don't want to be shooting a dead horse, but I swear to God, that building just,
Well, then we just have to build something else, because they have all the grass stuff, and there's a lot of stuff in there.
I mean, it's just,
Maybe we should wait till he can be here.
Yeah, that appears to be, that appears to be the case.
I mean, I think it would.
What, I'm sorry, I guess I kind of forgot what I asked you. I didn't forget what I asked you, but I don't know what you're answering. That they're going to just replace select boards, but if we went with the higher quote, they'd replace the whole thing?
Yeah.
Okay. And then my last question is, so these bids were done in December of 21. Are they still valid?
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Okay. All right. I don't have any other questions. Thank you.
I just would have loved to see a picture of each building with the defined what they're going to do to each of those buildings, so council could have a really good understanding of.
What we're actually getting for $75,000.
Yeah. I mean, paint, new wood or new siding or this or that, because it's, I tried to look for the pictures I sent you guys, but I couldn't find them real quick.
Because that's my kind of concern, is when they get to pick and choose.
Or we could just make a budget amendment, and add the
The higher amount.
like $4,000 more in there by the end of it, and I think that would be the smarter play.
I mean, I'm all for, as you know, fixing that park up. It's a mess, but it's got to be spent right.
I mean, that same quote, that same issue exists with each, well, except for the electrical building, that they're picking and choosing. And I want to trust them because they have the government contract, so they're a good vendor, but I don't want to piecemeal it.
Councilman Odell.
I believe Stefan Park is going to be a multi-year rehabilitation, so we can't do it all in one shot. Get the outside correct in the right way, and I'm more in favor to go with the higher one. I'd rather have it all new. It's going to last longer. I don't want it half new, half rotting 4 years later, the parts we didn't replace. And obviously, when we get a rec report back and we start designing what the Parks and Rec and park needs are going to be, we'll have more of an idea what we need for some of those inside of the buildings. How much extent of remodeling or replacing or whatever we need. Are we going to need a concession stand? Can that be used for something? That type of thing. But I think the cost is only going to go up from this point. So I'd be in favor of approving the contract, but with the higher bid, which would require small budget of adjustment, correct? Because we only have 75. What would the higher amount be?
So the higher amount would be $79,385. There is additional funding in that line item in the budget. There's actually $50,500 dedicated in that capital improvement line item for the park signs. We're still waiting on getting those final signs and the numbers. If we have to, at some point in time, we can always do a budget amendment for that.
Okay.
If it's even necessary.
Right. So I'd make the motion. Or was there there is a motion, right?
There's motion
Okay.
second,
But
right.
I'll rescind mine because I want to do it for the higher amount. So I'll rescind mine, so go right ahead. Oh, do you want to rescind yours?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yep.
Okay. So I'll make the motion to approve the contract for Stefan Park's renovations for $79,385 as outlined in the proposal.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. You turned your light off, right?
I did. I just had it on because I was going to say I recently had a leak in my roof in my house that came straight through to the carpet, and that's how I found out about it. Tink, tink, tink in the hallway. So I didn't, patch up the ceiling in the hallway, right? I found out what was going on with the exterior first. So spending a little bit more money and repairing the exterior makes total sense because to me, that way, if DPW did have some extra capacity, they could take care of some of the ad hoc stuff on the inside, especially when the weather gets bad too. So it's going to mirror that. Thank you.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments and questions from the audience? I'll bring it back to council. Any comments, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Aye.
Aye.
I'm sorry, could you tell me who was opposed?
Myself,
And Bransky.
Councilwoman,
Blanky, Bransky,
yeah.
and Carnegie. No, Carnegie.
Thank you. Mr. Denault?
Okay. Never mind, Mr. Mayor. I was just questioning, making sure we weren't exceeding budget, 'cause if we were, it would take an appropriation. So we're okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. Item F, Healthcare Consultant RFP.
So the next item that you have before you is an RFP to solicit bids for our healthcare consultant services. This is a company that services both the actives and the retirees. With Sarah, the Assistant City Manager, taking on those HR duties. This is something that has not been done apparently in a while, and we've been bidding out a lot of our consulting services. We are working with the current consultant on getting things ready for the next fiscal year. It's something that at any point in time you can always change your provider of record.
Councilwoman Baranski.
Would this encompass at some point then also looking into alternative plans? And, I know we're in a high deductible plan now, and I remember vividly when that happened, both from sitting there and also being a person who now has to write the checks because of that high deductible plan. Is that part of this, or is that, where does that fall?
That wouldn't be part of this. This is just the service provider. So this is the person that
will do that.
handles all of the information. So like intake for new employees that are getting on the insurance plans, dealing with any issues within the insurance providers, so like Blue Cross Blue Shield, some of our other benefits, they would help administrate that as well.
So currently Sarah's doing that?
So Sarah's doing a lot. The company that we have right now isn't truly, I think, a full service provider. Sarah might be able to answer a little bit more questions about that. We're just kind of looking, I think, to see if we can get a better service coverage.
Okay, to replace or to evaluate in comparison to the current service provider?
Correct.
This isn't an addition, this is, okay, then I'm good, thank you.
Yeah, the current service provider we have is Bank Advance.
Yeah.
Mayor Pro Tem Schornak.
Well, first, I think Sarah wants to say something, so she can say something, then I'll ask my question.
I just wanted to clarify that all of the compensation these consultants receive is embedded in our rates, so wouldn't change what we're experiencing cost-wise. That's something that's negotiated directly with the carriers. So whomever we select, there will not be a change in anything on our end other than the customer service aspect of it and the administration. So there is no additional cost. That's always negotiated directly with the insurance carriers such as Blue Cross Blue Shield, Delta Dental, et cetera.
Okay, so my question is this. It's probably not being done, but it probably should be done for all the surrounding communities and just all the communities in general. Why haven't anybody pooled everything and just gone under like just one big umbrella of municipalities, and each one of you have your own person work, like caseworker, if you will, because then they can share the cost, sort of like, on the state level, it's one carrier. I'm sure they have different plans you get to pick from, because like at work, I get 3 plans to pick from. And then, but we also are like, kind of in like a consortium, if you will, with other credit unions. So we basically take all the credit union pool, kind of put it into a big bucket, and then, okay, so and that helps your rates. I mean, are they even talking about anything like that? Because I would think at this stage of the game, how expensive everything is, that would be the prudent thing to do.
There's consortiums across the board, whether it's for life insurance and an accidental death and dismemberment coverage. And there's different groups that you can go on. A lot of it is what plan we're looking for. Is there going to be a consortium that would allow for us to do a high deductible healthcare plan with the cap that we have? So with every community having kind of a different layout, it's hard to navigate on that aspect. But that's definitely something that all carriers have started to provide, and all consultants work to try to offer those. It just may not be the benefits that our collective bargaining agreements would align with. So there's always options, and that's kind of what we're looking for with a consultant, to provide us with, these comparables of, you may be in a self-funded high deductible healthcare plan, but this is what different options look like for you.
Gotcha.
Councilwoman Blanky.
Hi, Sarah. Did you mention a price that I?
It's all embedded in the rates, so
Okay.
we don't pay anything directly to our healthcare consultants. It's all through the compensation directly from Blue Cross Blue Shield, and that's a negotiated rate with Blue Cross or with Delta Dental, whomever is our insurance provider. That's negotiated directly with these consultants. So that's not anything that we experience. It's all embedded in your healthcare rates.
Okay. No, I would, I know that you have so many things going on. I get that part. And I just wondered, had this been done before? I mean, did someone do this before?
I don't have any record of this being done. I don't have any access to speak with Kelly, who used to do HR here, but I know that we're trying to do our due diligence, and I think it's important that we do this with all of our vendors on a regular basis, just because there are so many changes in the industry across the board. So whether we maintain our current provider or we switch, I think it's something that we should get into a regular cycle with all of our vendors, just to make sure we're getting the best product for what our taxpayers are providing us.
Okay. Thank you, Sarah.
Councilwoman Baranski.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the request to do an RFP for healthcare consultant.
Second.
Motion and second. Any comments or questions from the audience? Back at council, further questions? I see none. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Item G, engineering RFP results. Well, I will lead off by just letting council, I'm halfway done going through them all. That's about as far as I made it. So I'd like to carry on the discussion and continue looking at them and set it on another agenda at this time, unless someone else is ready to.
Did anybody else go, oh my God?
Great. Yeah. Yeah. I got mine a little earlier, but I still only got it half through.
Wait, you have to do the 2 stacks, though.
So, and I just want to be thorough, as I like to be up here, so I appreciate agreeing to maybe put this on a future agenda.
Sure.
Okay?
But I am pleasantly surprised, because that's a lot of RFPs, and I'm very excited that we have like this nice little buffet of choices.
Yeah. Councilman O'Dell.
Just a quick question. Do we have a certain time frame that we have to decide before the last contract ends?
I think it's usually 90 days, but not normally. Yeah, where it has a set, we haven't a set of times.
Okay. I just didn't know if it has to be, new contract has to be decided by a
Nope.
certain time. Okay,
Not at
thank you. That's all I had.
Do we have a contract, or is it, how does that work?
Open-ended contract.
Yeah, right, that's what I thought. Okay.
Councilwoman Kolka.
Thank you, Mayor. Are these first, you said open-ended, are they for a set, period of time, like every 3 years, every 2 years, or every year?
Generally with consultants, you have an open-ended contract, so you just have to make sure that you have some type of terms for when you want to get out of that contract. And that's certainly something that when we get to the stage of doing a contract, we'll have Don be involved with that.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Okay. So would you like a motion or just kind of?
It's on the agenda.
Let's just
Put
make
it back on the next agenda.
There unanimous consent? Yeah.
Yeah, there's unanimous consent.
There you go.
Okay, so we're good.
Did anybody disagree?
So we're moving it
Yes,
another day.
yes. Councilwoman Blanky?
Okay, we're waiting right on this.
For next year.
Item H, legal RFP results.
Well, that's what I was gonna, I was on for. Anyway, so I don't know if you guys want to move this as well. I did read those. I have my choices, but I don't know. I think I got through everybody's things. At a certain point, I felt like I was reading the same thing over and over again. But so, do we want to? Well, here's the thing: as for both of these, do we want to postpone this one as well? But the thing is, do we also want to come up with a process of pick our two top three or two? Because as much as I appreciate all these companies sending this information and everything, I don't feel like I want to sit through, I forgot how many count there was, all of those, because there's certain ones that I don't feel would fit our city's needs. So I don't feel that they would be an appropriate pick for us. So I just want to get the consensus from council. Do we want to narrow it down to our top two, top three? What's
I would
everybody's
hope we'd
thoughts?
want to narrow it down to at least 2 or 3 and have them in for an interview, just to see what.
Yeah, well, that was why I want to ask. So when do we want to make that decision, our top? And first off, 2 or 3. How many do we want, 2 or 3?
Are you talking labor or general?
I'm
legal?
talking for both.
So you want one for each?
No.
Or your top 2 for each?
I'm asking, do we want to interview the top 2 or top 3 for each?
Okay.
And so I'm looking for consensus.
Yes.
Oh, 2 or 3, Suzanne?
2.
Thank you.
I have 3. I
Okay.
did go through them.
Okay.
I did narrow down. I have, well, G. Marco, thank you, is both. So that kind of splits the baby. But I think that if they haven't gone through the packet, it's disingenuous to say limit it to 2. I think we're all of the same mindset that we're not looking to waste time. And it's pretty clear two rapidly distinguished themselves based on the rates they wanted to charge. I immediately put them to the bottom of the pile. So.
Right. Well, my question,
If I may, I went through these pretty thoroughly.
We're on the lawyers.
we're on the lawyers.
Mark.
Mark, we're on the lawyers. That's okay.
We tabled the engineering.
I was just trying to get a consensus. Yes, we did. Thank you, Mark.
All right, thank you.
We're good.
So,
And my proposal to answer your question would be to invite for interviews, whatever the consensus is. So at the next
Yeah,
meeting,
that's what I'm asking.
we've narrowed it down, and then they come back.
yeah.
Because I think it's the same thing. We
wanna get that
have a
processed.
contract with you, Mr. Denault, or is it open-ended service?
I'm sorry.
Well, you're not paying attention?
Is
Oh, I'm paying attention, but it was hard-
Rancilio's
it was very hard
contract
to hear you.
open-ended?
Oh, I'm sorry. Is it open-ended service contract?
Yeah,
Okay.
as
So the timing isn't.
it's an administrative officer position under the charter, so yeah, it's open-ended.
All right. We did it, you did it because we asked you to do it, but we don't have to make a decision in the next 30 days. Or ever. We don't have to make a change ever, but we certainly want to be mindful of what rates and services are
Exactly.
provided.
Yeah, and comparing apples to apples.
So I have no problem adding it to the next month's agenda to hear everybody's top 2 or 3, whatever you want to do.
Okay, so that's what I'm trying to, I
Yeah.
want to understand. Okay, so next month,
Okay.
we will agree for the top picks, everybody come with their top picks. We'll leave it at 3 for right now. Sound good? Okay. I just want to understand what we're going to be doing next month, because I don't want everybody, like, all these people showing up, waiting and with bated
No, we wouldn't do
breath.
that. We would have to send invites
Well,
out
I know,
anyway.
I'm just saying, so I just wanted to understand what our process is going to be. Okay.
We'll do that.
So I feel much more comfortable with that. So everybody come with your top 2 or 3 picks, and then we'll all discuss that, and then be on the agenda for the
Yeah,
next one
agenda.
to actually interview, so that works. Okay, excellent. Thank you.
Consensus?
So do we have a consensus of also tabling the legal?
Yes.
Okay,
All right. Yay.
thank you. Item I, Director of Public Safety hiring. Ms. Levitt?
Right, so late this afternoon, we received a signed offer of employment from Samantha Kretschmer for the Director of Public Safety position. Tonight, just looking for an acceptance of that offer.
Councilman Baranski.
I would like to make a motion
Sorry,
to,
approval.
I would like to make a motion to approve the hiring of Samantha Kretschmar as the Public Safety Director with the terms as negotiated and outlined in the memo.
A motion and second. And I will abstain from the vote, being an employee of that department myself. Mr. Denault.
Just a point of clarification for the motion maker. The offer letter has a preferred start date in it. That will not be the actual start date, so I don't want there to be any misunderstanding that there's an expectation that she would start on that date. That date, her start date is going to be sometime in September. Elaine and I just couldn't remember the exact date that she was requesting off the top of our heads. It's maybe the 12th, 19th. I can't remember specifically what it was.
And that makes sense because this is way fast.
Yeah,
I believe it to be after Labor Day.
she has to depart her current employer and wrap things up, and I think she might have other plans for a week. So, whatever it may be, it won't be that date. I just want to be clear that your motion doesn't expect that.
And my motion does not expect that. Thank you for that clarification.
Yeah, Pro Tem Schornak.
Oh, I just wanted to make a motion to abstain you from voting and
Do we-
approve it. Just because, don't we have to agree to allow, okay, because that became a very big sticking, I understand.
Let him answer.
Became a sticking point, so I want to make sure that
Go ahead,
we're
John.
doing everything by the book.
Right. To be clear, it takes unanimous consent to allow the abstention. So as long as nobody's objecting to him abstaining, there's no need for a motion.
So does anybody object to Mr. Carnegie abstaining?
No, this
Nope.
is,
Okay.
So we have a motion and a second. Any comments and questions from the audience? Anyone in line, online? Nope. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I abstained. IJ, Recreation Liaison. At this point, go ahead, you're going to...
Yep. At a previous meeting, we had selected the Recreation Liaison as Councilperson Odell. Unfortunately, he has conflicts with the schedule, so we are looking to appoint a new person as the Recreation Liaison. I believe that Councilperson Sutherland has potentially stepped forward for that.
Oh, then I make a motion that we appoint.
Alfred, but I do have one question. So, do I have to attend those meetings in person, or am I able to attend those via Zoom if needed? Or are they all in chambers now? Like,
All these boards and commissions should be meeting in person now.
okay. So even as the liaison, though, like I couldn't, pull a Ragsdale and meet via Zoom?
So you're not voting, so you might be able to just participate via phone or something?
Absolutely. The Rec Commission can help you with that, but there's no requirement that you attend in person as the liaison.
I mean, that would be
Yeah.
preferred, right? That I would be in person.
Right,
I'm just
right.
wondering that if during these summer months, if I happen to be
Yeah, you don't have to make
elsewhere,
every- you
if
don't have
I
to make
can
every
participate via Zoom.
I'll give you a real world example. At the Planning Commission recently, the lawyer for one of the petitioners was not going to be in town, but really wanted to be a part of the presentation and be available. So she was available. They made it work so that she was on a telephone, audio speaker, so that she could participate and they could ask questions of her, and she could comment and help the petition move forward. So you could play that same role, or if there's a way that they could accommodate you on a screen somehow, they could do that for you. There's no requirement that you actually be there.
Okay, great. Then yeah. Then yes. Willing to do that.
I was going to make the nomination. So I nominate Councilperson Sutherland to be the Parks and Rec liaison. Would you accept?
Oh, I accept.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second,
An acceptance.
and accepted. We really don't have to vote on it, but all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Why, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, you're going to like it. Yeah, no, yeah. So.
I like that little qualification you made. Maybe I'll next time.
Returning business, Mr. Vigor's still on. Just a quick update on the industrial road. Based on our last meeting, it was a success. We just want to keep the ball rolling, and we talked about grants and next phases going into this. So, Mike, if you can update on what council should be looking at or administration should be looking at or applying for, or what you guys are going to be doing for us, that to update council would be great.
Sure, yeah, I thought we had a great informational meeting. It was well attended, and we got some really good feedback from a lot of the businesses. I think I got the impression that there is support for something to happen. I think everyone recognizes that. We've shared some preliminary numbers with them in terms of approximate cost for the program and what various options are for funding that, including possibilities of assessment either full or partial for that work and what that might cost for each of the businesses. I think the next steps are working with city administration to set up a follow-up meeting after we've got some more information together and bring that back to council for consideration for the next steps on funding.
I just wanted to add as well, with the spray patching, it turned out very well. The company that's doing the spray patching for us, highway maintenance, should be back in the next couple of weeks to finish up, and they're going to finish the whole industrial self-force.
Okay.
And I would also like to just add a little bit of information on that as well. The spray patching, they're going to be coming back, I believe, after Labor Day to start completion of that project. The website, I was working on creating a website page that would be informational and have kind of a summary of the information from the meeting that we had. I did prepare my notes. I passed those on to Mike Vigneron. Between the two of us, we need to work on putting something together. Unfortunately, being out sick all last week, it set me back a little bit on getting that ready, but I will be working on that. Also, I think it's important that our street committee meeting, our street committee group get together for a meeting to talk about the industrial park project and also kind of start looking at the capital plans for the next budget year. So I will be sending an email out to the three members of those who are Carnegie, Baranski, and Odell to start working with us on the capital improvement plans moving forward as well.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it. Let's see. Report of city administration.
I can't believe we're already here at a little after 7:30.
Oh, my Lord. Yeah, it's a record.
Councilwoman Baranski threatened me,
Seriously.
so
I
did.
I did not threaten. I simply indicated this will be the most efficient meeting.
I did threaten him. I'm just going to admit it.
All right, so first of all, I'll give you a little update on the Senior Activity Center floor. Sarah's here. She has a little bit more detail, so if you have any questions, she might be able to provide a little bit more information. But we have pulled the floor up, and we've pulled some of the materials off the wall. We've been looking at the roof. We've been looking at the foundation. We've been looking around the foundation. It appears that there may be a combination of problems there with some type of water and moisture intrusion. So we're still working through and trying to finalize what that problem is so that we can fix it and move forward. I don't know if you have anything else that you would like to add to that, Sarah, if anybody has any particular questions about that.
When I went to review it, it was definitely wet, so.
Yeah. So we'll
A lot of water was.
we'll still be working on that, and we'll likely have some more detailed information for you in the weeks to come.
Well, if worst comes to worst, we can turn it into a hockey rink. We only have one.
The The Eagle Scout, Allie Sparks, is going to be having her car wash fundraiser for the project that she is going to be doing at the Baumgarten House for the dry riverbed. That car wash is scheduled for Monday, August 15th, from 3:30 to 6 o'clock over at the Baumgarten House. So if you are in the area and are ready for a car wash, or even if you just had one, please show up and help support her and her project.
From 3:30 to
3:30 to 6 p.m. Sarah, our assistant city manager, got a scholarship to attend the MGFOA upcoming conference. That's for finance. So very excited about that she has reached out and got a grant to help save the community and still benefit from the education of that conference. The farmers market is this Saturday, so make sure that if you're available, you can stop by and attend that. We have been having an issue with getting quorum for our Recreation Commission. I know that they tried to have a meeting a couple of days ago, and we failed to get quorum for the second time in a row. I'm not sure what's going on there, but I know that we do still have some short positions that we need to fill. I think we had someone that has maybe stepped away. We've not received any official notice from that member. So if you know anyone that is interested in serving on Recreation Commission, please send them our way with an application. Mediation with COAM, we're going to be continuing that next Monday, so hopefully we'll be able to put together some type of agreement for council consideration. Election results have been officially certified by the county, so congratulations to Cindy for getting through another one. Good job on that. The Historical Commission, I have passed the rules of the Historical Commission to our attorney, Don Denal, and he has been working on putting together the ordinance for Historical Commission. This is something that's really going to solidify the rules for them, make them a little bit more official, and everybody going in knows exactly what the rules and regulations are for that group. Part of that is one of the things that was requested is to be able to enable them to get paid for doing that role. So that will be part of the ordinance. Hopefully we will have it ready for the next meeting, whether that would be something we send to Historical Commission to review first or bring to council. I'm not 100% certain on that, but it is in the works. The email migration is pretty much complete, so hopefully everybody has access to their email now. If not, either contact myself or Sarah, and we'll be able to get you the password and login information so that you can get access to that.
Still need help.
We all know.
Work in progress, yeah. There are,
Now I know I didn't get any emails.
there are always bumps in the road, so I think that getting through this process, I hopefully will not have to go through this again, and we will stay with Outlook for a long time. I think that that is all I have, so if you have any questions, let me know.
The roof?
The roof for at the Baumgarten House. I will work with Mark Ragsdale on that and see where we are with it. Speaking with Cindy at the last Historical Commission meeting, they talked about the roof and options. So State Historic Preservation Office governs exterior modifications to the building. So Cindy did reach out to them and got a little bit of information about potential options for what they can do for the roof over there. They did discuss that at the meeting. No final decision was made about the direction that they want to go with the roof. So we will continue working on that, and likely we'll work with DPW superintendent when we have solidified plans to get bids for the roof.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Report of mayor and council. Ms. Sutherland, you get to go first this time.
All right, so all I have is, great work, Cindy and Mary, on the election. I know I came up and voted absentee here at City Hall, and it was a seamless, quick, and painless process, so good job. I know that's a very hectic time. And I just wanted to say thank you to Sarah Mistretta for all the hard work, as well as everyone else who volunteered to put the parade on in connection with the festival. It went really well. We had a lot of participants. in the parade as well as spectators. So it seems like everyone came out and had a good time. So thank you, Sarah, for all of your hard work, and Mary and Cindy and everybody else who volunteered your time. Thank you. That's it.
Well, I will need help with my emails because now I know I didn't get your email. So, but yeah, all I was really going to say was I wanted to thank Interim Director Captain John Gillis, who stepped in, did an amazing job, and exhibited leadership from the get-go. And I'm very excited to see Samantha come in, but I think Interim Director Gillis has a great future in front of him. So thank him, please, on behalf of myself, and I thank all of council for how wonderful it's been to make this transition.
Thank you. I don't really have anything. I think it's already been said. So next month, when we come back, the kids will be back in school. So please be aware that there'll be little ones trying to cross the street in a few weeks here. And I think they go back on the 29th, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So just be careful. It seems like the summer went by in a flash, as always.
Yeah, it does.
So thank you.
Odell.
Piggyback off the parade, it ran great for all new crew, and Mary and Sarah, and had good participants, and it looked like it was going to pour about 15 minutes beforehand, and it luckily blew right north of us. So we had a pretty good turnout considering it looked like it was going to pour. The Fraser Lions Carnival went off great. The fireworks was well attended. Hats off to Fraser Public Safety. They kept the crowds in line, and the rowdy teenagers in line for the most part, and for all the part. But I'm just saying but they did a great job in keeping a crowd, big crowd like that in control, and for everybody's safety involved. So, but it was a well turned out event, and city, kicked in some extra bucks for a fireworks show, which I thought everybody enjoyed, and can't wait till next year and hopefully build upon that. So, thank you.
Councilwoman Blanky.
Thank you. I just have one question. What's the status on the park signs? Do you know what's going on?
I think they're in production now. I thought that Mark had said that we should have them sometime in September.
September?
That's correct.
When are you coming back to our meetings? You just pop up like a jack in the box. When are you coming back?
I had a doctor's appointment.
Oh, well, you didn't need to give an excuse, but I would prefer, I'm sure we would prefer. Hope you feel better. Anyway, so, okay, thank you. And everyone have a good month, and God love us all, and count your blessings always. Thank you.
Report on Chernak.
Well, since everybody took everything I had, except you didn't say that the open house is going to be on 9/11 from 1 to 4, and that they have lots of donations at the museum in the barn sale. And because I actually found my garage this past weekend, so they were the beneficiary of all that, because there was a lot of stuff. I haven't parked in my garage, and I can't even remember how long, so I'm super excited. I actually can probably park this in there this winter. Woohoo! But yep, get out and support the museum, and if you've never been, it's got a lot of history of our city, so definitely a worthwhile thing. I, too, wanted to thank everybody who helped out for the election, all the election workers. I did go vote. I really hate straight ticket, and they really need to get rid of that, because I absolutely hate it. And I actually feel like that impedes my rights, and I wanted to say that out loud. And I also wanted to thank Interim Director Gillis for his absolute professionalism. His communication has been fabulous. I look forward to seeing how Samantha works with our new team, and I hope they're all excited, to try something new and kind of move the department forward in a really positive way. And I think that she's going to fit in really well with the team. She's got lots and lots of experience being a PSO, and I'm just really looking forward to seeing how that all shakes out. And it is Labor Day, right? Or, yeah. Labor Day, so I hope everybody has a safe, I always get those two screwed up, but Labor Day, I hope everybody has a very good Labor Day and enjoys their family and is safe right before going back to school. Oh, and I think this is the last time we're going to have daylight saving time this year, right? After this year goes away, isn't it?
What?
I thought they got rid of it. Doggone it! I was like so excited this would be the last time I'd have to deal with the clock.
Fake news.
Fake news. Dang it. Hey, that was actually on Channel 7, I want you to know. Well, that's disappointing. Yeah, I'm just disappointed.
I don't have much. I started working on the open house, firefighters open house. This year will be October 1st.
Oh, wait, let me put it up.
Saturday, October 1st. So if there's any groups or anyone interested in being part of that, just get a hold of me. I'll be putting an agenda together and some things together for that
At what time, Mike?
event. It normally starts at noon to 3 o'clock. We will be serving again chili dogs and hot dogs. We're trying to get to 100,000 before I retire. So.
Everyone come on.
So
Because of the inflation, are you cutting them in half?
yeah, that's a good one. We should.
That would be super funny.
Wouldn't it?
You can serve them
Mini dogs.
Cut them in half.
We'll just serve corn dogs.
Good idea.
That
So,
would be funny.
I just thought I'd
yeah, if there's groups interested, let me know, and we'll discuss things going forward. But I just started putting that all together, and it is a busy next 2 months for our undergarden firefighters. We've got a lot of memorials to do: 9/11, the state memorial, the national. So lots going on, and I'll keep everyone posted. That's all I have at this time. We'll call citizen participation. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to be recognized? I see none. Anybody in? No? Nope. Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
City
Mr.
attorney.
Donnett.
Oh, I just might have one thing, and I probably could have brought it up under administration, but I wanted to get my email to confirm before I asked all of you. I'm part of a municipal attorney group that works with the legislators in Lansing, and I don't directly have that interface. Oh, sorry. I'm part of a municipal attorney group that we get together once a month, when possible by Zoom, and we talk about ongoing legislative initiatives and all kinds of issues, rental home or laws and marijuana laws, a lot of different things. One of the things that's on the radar right now is Open Meetings Act, and finally taking a good look at, post-pandemic, what can be done with it to change it, clarify it, make it more user-friendly. So I have a couple of weeks to send, my thoughts to the group, and then the group will pass them along to the legislative, the MML people that interface with the legislature. But if any of you have anything, no matter how silly, remote, or minor, or big, and you just want me to pass it along or wordsmith it in a way that helps us and what we do, let me know. I'll put it in my list and send it along and say it came directly from an elected official. I believe at the moment the thought process is to allow some remote options for boards and commissions that aren't elected. I don't know that they're leaning yet toward elected folks being able to do any kind of remote participation. So that may be on your minds. You may be thinking, well, maybe that's something I'd like to see. Just even if it's in a limited kind of capacity, once a year or once a fiscal year, or or a serious medical reason, or whatever it might be. Because right now there's just nothing that allows for it. So even if you're in COVID quarantine, you can't participate by Zoom at a council meeting, even though you're elected to participate. So things like that. If you have any ideas, thoughts, maybe within a week, if you could get those to me, I've got about 2 weeks to get back to them. So. I would take it and I would forward it along.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Have a great rest of the summer, everybody.
Absolute record. Thank you.